Good morning, you guys. It's another normal, beautiful day. It's pretty early, so that's why there's not very much light. Um, yeah, I just want to make this video and um, talk about a couple things. I want to mention a few things, and I think the core of what I want to talk about is about how feelings matter. But I want to thank. I want to do some. Want to mention something real quick. I want to thank everyone for their comments on my videos lately. Even the ones who have been kind of dismissive, and even the ones that are disrespectful. I appreciate everybody taking the time to say what they feel. Because, even if it's something that's hurtful or something that I don't agree with, I'm not saying it's good to be hurtful. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's good to be hurtful. It's not good to be hurtful, but it is good to express your feelings, is my point. And when we do so, we feel better. I believe we get better too, because I don't think that we're meant to just store everything inside. That's not to say that we should just let our mouths run like a faucet and just say whatever, But the reason I'm making this video about how feelings matter is because in one of my videos where I was testifying of my conversion process of coming into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, some people in the comments were talking about, it may have been just one guy, but I know a lot of people feel this way, and it's a valid point, about how, oh wow, you're just expressing feelings and no evidence of the Book of Mormon being true. You're just expressing subjective feelings, right? And I get people's points in that, because your feelings don't always tell you the truth. I mean, you can be wrong. Feelings and logic are definitely different. Like mental logic is definitely a lot different than feelings, using feelings to figure things out. But something that people don't always realize is that they are both valid ways of discerning truth. They're both valid ways of figuring things out. Because I had a really awesome lady make a comment, really awesome comment on my video talking about this, about how feelings matter, and they totally do. And she made so many great points, but one of the points that she made was that, real quick, one of the points was, if feelings don't matter, then why do people watch horror movies, right? They watch horror movies to feel things, to feel something, right? To get scared, or to whatever, but to feel, right? And the other point that she made that I like is about how when people go to buy a new house, if it doesn't feel right, they won't buy it. If it feels creepy, or if there's some vibes, then it feels sketchy, they're not going to buy it, right? Most likely they're not. And also, you can feel vibes from people. You can feel creepy vibes from people. You can feel loved from someone, right? You can feel that someone loves you. And it's so important, because some people are really quick to dismiss how feelings matter and feelings are important. My point is that you don't just have feelings for no reason. I mean, feelings occur for a reason. And I believe that, I'm not trying to suggest that we should all try to be like psychic people and try to feel our way around everything. Never use our minds, or just only rely on our feelings. I'm not arguing for that. But I am arguing that feelings are valid, and that feelings can help us discern truth. We can make sense out of things with feelings. And this is the realm that people don't necessarily like to talk about, or they don't always believe in, because it deals with the unseen, because feelings are unseen. You can see how I'm feeling if I express it to you. But if I don't express how I'm feeling, you don't know how I'm feeling. Unless you use your feelings and feel how I'm feeling, right? So there can be a lot of mystery in feelings, right? And so, but nonetheless, they are still valid, and they're still, I believe feelings are a gift. It's one of our gifts that God has given us to discern truth and to help us navigate in this life. There's a reason why if you are driving and you're lost and you don't know where to go and you think you need to take this right turn, there's a reason why you feel like you should versus why you feel like you shouldn't take that left turn. You get that feeling, you should listen to that feeling. And again, I'm not saying that we should just solely rely on feelings, but I am saying that they are valid and they are important. And sometimes that's all we have to go on. Sometimes we're led to a point like I was when I was asking God about the church and asking God about the Book of Mormon. Sometimes we're led to a place where we have to rely on our feelings. And I want to also point out that when God speaks to you, that's not just a feeling. You don't just feel Him speaking to you. Sometimes it varies. It can be more of a knowing, but when God speaks to you, you can feel it for sure. But it's not your feeling. You know what I mean? That's not your feeling. That's God speaking to you. So I think that's just a really important thing to differentiate, because I think a lot of people who are skeptical, people who are skeptical of my testimony about God answering my prayers and speaking to me and confirming to me that the church is true, and I felt that. I felt it, but it wasn't my feelings that told me it was true. It was the feelings that it was what God told me and showed me, and I felt those things. My feelings supported it. Do you know what I mean? My feelings supported it. And to be completely honest, when I was in that moment asking Him and, pleading with Him to give me an answer and tell me whether I should just keep going or not in this direction towards the church, He told me that I was doing the right thing. He told me to keep coming in this direction. This is the right thing. You're doing the right thing. And when I was trying to figure out if that was God or not, everything about it, everything that I felt about it validated that fact, because it matched all the other feelings that I've had before with God and with who He is. And it's hard to explain your relationship with someone who doesn't exist, who communicates to you from a distance, like who isn't right in front of you, and you don't touch and feel physically, or see or talk to physically, but you know what I mean? It's hard to explain your relationship with that person. And God is one of them. God is one of those people that, you talk to Him through prayer, and you talk to Him spiritually. And He answers you, but He doesn't answer you in a loud, audible voice. He answers you in your head, or He answers you in your spirit, in your knowing, in your body. He just answers you, and you just know it. And for people who are really skeptical, I just gave you guys some ammo, because you guys, I'm sure you guys can tear me apart or try to debunk what I just said because of what I just said. But I'm not saying God is in your head. I'm not saying God is just imaginary. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when He communicates to us, sometimes that's how we hear Him. He speaks to us. He speaks to our inner spirit, to our inner being. He speaks to our inner being. And that's a hard thing to explain Because some people are very matter of fact and meat and potatoes. They need X, Y, Z. They need this explained, and they need concrete, physical, physical tools or prove that something is the way that it is, before they'll even consider it, or especially before they'll believe. And I think that that's a really, I feel like it's really good to be cautious like that. It's a healthy thing to be cautious, but you have to be careful of how skeptical you are about things, because God tries to communicate with us all the time. And if we just come up with reasons why he doesn't exist, then we block ourselves from hearing his voice. And if we tell other people you can't hear from God and God can't talk to you and he can't answer your prayers, then, well, that's lying to people, which is wrong. But if we do that, then, and especially do that to ourselves, we're really doing the service of the devil, and we're really working against God. And it's not really beneficial, it's actually detrimental. Just because you haven't experienced something, and because you don't quite understand something, doesn't mean that it's not true. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Doesn't mean that it's not real, right? And we have experiences with God all the time, and I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy, and I don't think I'm crazy, and that's just kind of like the gist of it. That's the gist of what I'm trying to say. But ultimately, feelings do matter, and we have them for a reason, and they can help us. I mean, think about it. If you're in a relationship with someone, your wife or your husband, and you love them with all your heart, how do you feel about them? You love them, right? And that's something that you feel. You feel the love that you have for them, and you feel the love that they have for you. Well, what would life be like if you just didn't have those feelings at all? And what if you were supposed to just, so what are you just supposed to? This is my question to you, who is questioning the importance of feelings and the validity of feelings. Do you think that we are supposed to just ignore feelings? I mean that. Do you think we're supposed to ignore feelings? When we have feelings, are we just supposed to ignore them? Are we supposed to turn them off? Are we supposed to ignore them? And if you think that, why? Why do you think we should? Because they're deceptive? Because they're invalid, or they don't matter, they're not important? I would argue with anyone to say that if we didn't have feelings, life would be pretty lame. Life would be pretty empty and boring. Feelings are a gift, and feelings are a part of life, and feelings are important. They're valid. And again, I'm not saying that should be your guiding light, but they can definitely help lead you in the right direction. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.